Nobody, and I mean nobody, is immune to the virus that is YouTube. I don't care what your industry is. I don't care who you are as a person. You be on this long enough, whatever faction or group or entity you belong to, you will fall victim to YouTube. And it seems that the sheriff of Baghdad, not this guy, this is Nate. Nate's a Green Beret, but the infamous John McPhee, aka the sheriff of Baghdad, has fallen victim to the Tim Kennedy virus, so to speak. Listen, all the special forces guys that are on YouTube, they're all messy. Yes, they're super studs, and they've kicked down doors for our country and some of the most lethal men on the planet. But nonetheless, YouTube makes them all, we're all equal. We're all equally messy and petty. And if there's a chance to dox somebody or get some dirt on somebody, it's going to be exposed. Okay, so now the paperwork on why John McPhee was kicked out of Delta Force has surfaced. Nate has all 220 pages. Everybody's been reacted to it. Listen, this morality and integrity that these military guys tend to exude on online, it's a very thin veil. Okay, once again, YouTube. Everybody's equal on YouTube. Everybody's equally petty and messy. Everybody's got skeletons. It's just a matter of when those skeletons are revealed. So let's get into how bad of a bad man that the sheriff of Baghdad, John McPhee, really was. Is.
Out of it, downright disgusting. But I'll let you make the decisions for yourself. First, we're going to see what Special Forces Command had to say. All right, so this is the actual reprimand document from the Special Forces Command team, and we're going to go through it, okay? So it gets into the start of the reasons why. So it says here, you are reprimanded for committing adultery with a fellow non-commissioned officer assigned to this command in violation of Article 134 of the...
Okay, that's bad. That's bad. Sleeping with another soldier's wife, NCO, nonetheless, adultery is highly frowned upon, which is weird because the military is known for adultery. It's almost a running joke. That's... See what I'm saying? You see how the lines are being blurred? Like, okay, you guys preach integrity and standards and stuff, but your entire military is known for sleeping with each other's wives and girlfriends. And soldiers come home with the wife is pregnant, but he's been gone for 2 years. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
The Uniform Code of Military Justice. A commander's inquiry conducted by Redacted, pursuant of Rule of Courts Martial 303, found that during 2008 and January of 2009, you carried on an adulterous relationship with a married woman who was not your wife. During the entire duration of the relationship, both you and Redacted were assigned to Joint Special Operations Command. You admitted to this misconduct during the investigation. And here is what Special Forces Command had to say about John. You are hereby reprimanded for your misconduct. Your acts demonstrate an absolute departure from the moral, ethical, and legal standards required of our most senior non-commissioned officers. As the senior enlisted advisor of the J8 Directorate, you are entrusted to lead, supervise, and care for your soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. You cannot lead without setting the proper legal, moral, and ethical example. You demonstrated an utter lack of judgment and blatant disregard for these standards of conduct, undermining the fundamental good order and discipline of your unit. As such, your conduct falls markedly short of the standards expected of leaders in this command. That's a far cry difference from what he has to say about himself.
Okay, that's harsh. But once again, you recruit a bunch of young psychopaths, and then you complain that they are psychopaths. You can't have it both ways, people. Okay? These are, and I'm putting this nicely, these are very, very bad men that that had to restrain themselves 99% of the time because their skill set, would take out a city if left unhinged. Okay? Let the psychopaths be. That's why you recruited them, right? But then all of a sudden, it's like the pit bull. Pit bull's been bred to fight bulls and bears. And then you get mad when the pit bull bites your child. But that's what a pit bull does. That's all it knows. That's all it's been known for is violence. Let's go.
I think I'm a great role model.
So you might be thinking adultery, that's not that big of a deal. Oh, there's a lot more to it than that we're going to take a look at. But as you can see here, all of the reasons, adultery, DUI, and detainee abuse investigations. And as that relationship...
Okay, now this is why I call all the Special Forces guys hypocrites. It's been out there for years that McAfee had been let go because he abused detainees. That was the long-standing rumor, unconfirmed for years about this guy. So now all of a sudden the official paperwork backs up what people already know. Now everyone's like, what do you mean you didn't know? Don't give me the right? The clutching your pearls. Like, stop. Now, you know what? These guys, and I highly respect the soft guys, but now there's the luster's been knocked off. Now you because of this platform, you guys have just revealed yourselves to be just as petty and messy as the rest of us on this platform. You guys are no better. DJ Shipley still repping a firearm that will go off on its own. You guys, y'all's integrity is questionable to me at this point. But let's get to it.
Spiraled. I'm going to show you some things that happened here in this room. I'm going to tell you extreme viewer discretion advised. All right, so some of this I'm not even going to be able to read because of YouTube censorship guidelines, but we'll work our way through it. Okay, as you see here. Even though I confessed to my husband and left, he was also very much full.
Okay, this is what happens when you recruit psychopaths, and then you get mad when they show you who they are. And this is what he did basically to get kicked out of the program. This is bad. Let's go.
Of rage. Sometimes he would just snap. All of this anger would just come out of nowhere, and he's the window of my truck, throw things, scream at me, and threaten me by saying I better stop whatever I was doing, yelling or defending myself, because he was capable of things I couldn't imagine, and not to put myself in that situation. He's got in my face, bowed up to me, telling me I'd better shut my mouth because I had no idea what he was capable of. The worst was him putting a loaded blank to my face. He did this because I turned down a song he was listening to so I could hear what he was saying. He was drunk. He also has thrown me to the ground. He did this when I was 3 months pregnant. I called 911, but I had not pressed charges. He had threatened to commit S every time I thought we should part. I would stay. During that same time we were seeing each other, he was also on and off with his ex-wife. Found out another time in particular when I went to his house to visit, she was there. I didn't go inside, but just drove away. I later found out from her that he had pointed a loaded gun and threatened to shoot her if she didn't leave. He did this because she admitted to sleeping with his friend and then roommate. I talked to John about this, and after the fact, he not only admitted everything to me, but he also told me that she was 5 seconds from getting her head blanked off if she hadn't left. We'll scroll down to the bottom. He has had the police called on him several times by his ex-wife for blank abuse. The reason, redacted, excessive abuse on detainees. So what you see there, and why that's redacted, is the reason he was removed from Delta Force. It's a little bit different story than he's told about getting divorced, and that's why, according to the investigation here, was because of excessive abuse of detainees. He has told me in reference to that everyone was doing it. And he,
once again, that has been the long-standing rumor on John McPhee for years. I'm not military, and even I knew this. Okay, I'm not military, and even I knew this. But let's continue. Let's continue with y'all's military hypocrisy.
he had done a lot worse things than he had even gotten fired for. That goes against everything this funny green hat stands for.
Okay, now once again, I'm not military, no diss to anybody. I got family, friends in it, but you guys are the custodies. If I want to make a Warhammer reference, you guys are the custodies, the Adeptus Custodies. You guys are hand-picked, hand-chosen, hand-selected. You guys are built different than even the Primaris Space Marines. You guys are the 10,000 that guard the Emperor. That's it. That's all. Everybody else is beneath you. Okay? Now, y'all can't come online with your tabs and your berets and your awards and all your Latin mottos, screaming this, screaming that, and we are the most highest of standards and the most the highest rank of integrity, and then you guys, you can't have it both ways, guys. You can't preach standards, an ethics, a code, morality, and brotherhood, and yet you do all the same debased, debaucherous things that regular people do. And then it's like when your skirt is lifted and the veil is pulled back, you guys are just as deplorable and nasty just like the rest of us. Except you guys have a skill set that comes in handy when needed. I don't give a fuck about Nate's Green Beret shit. Okay? We got soldiers right now, special forces guys out here doing the tango with cartel members. This is the hypocrisy that I'm referring to. YouTube makes all of us equal. So these guys are no equal in my mind. The only thing these guys can do that I can't do is legally carry a pistol. Cause y'all do some nasty shit behind closed doors, just like me. What makes you any better than me? You guys have a skill set that the government deemed useful. Great. How do y'all see it, man?
Oppressively bear to free the oppressed. And that's not even the worst of it. I'm also now going to show you something that John said himself. And this is extreme viewer discretion advised. Okay? I'm not even going to be able to read most of it, but it's going to be up here. There is an email from Sergeant Major McPhee to the victim, which states, following blank intercourse previous night, in a statement, he explained the context of the email to be that evening, he was over at her apartment, could not recall the reasons. They started to mess around. He stated she had already taken medication for the evening and laid there versus being fully involved. As we scroll down to the bottom here, you'll find out about the victim. When asked, Sergeant Major McPhee stated that many times when he went to the victim's apartment after 7 o'clock, he had to bang loudly on the door just to be heard. Since she took 2 Ambien and Xanax to sleep nightly. To all the young men watching this, who look up to Green Berets, look up to special operators, there is no situation ever where this is okay. I don't want you to think that for a second. So I think we all can understand now why special forces.
Yeah, sounds nice, Nate. I hear you. Sounds nice, but from the outside looking in, you guys are no better than anybody. You guys have a skill set and a propensity for violence that can be curbed at times. That's about it. Physically fit maniacs. Yeah, you guys are physically fit maniacs prone to violence that will run towards the gunfire. I respect that part of it. But as far as the human element, these guys are just as nasty, deplorable, disgusting, depraved, just like everybody else. It looks good because they got a uniform on. Once again, I like these guys, but YouTube exposes everybody and makes everybody equal. So that's my take on it. I want to know what you guys think. What did I miss? Where did I get wrong? Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Y'all have a good one. Peace.